Hello, everyone. Today we are going to be talking about the new age, millennials, and kind of like what the problems of the world are and maybe what we can do to solve them.
What facets need change? And we're sitting here with,
My mom,
she's very passionate about, what she thinks, what she feels, and we as a younger generation feel a connection to her. And she understands the ways that we feel and the aspects of life that we think need change.
but those aspects and views aren't really shared by a lot of people of our age or in our generation or, millennials. So
Right.
we're just kind of curious and we're trying to expand our minds.
You're trying to express, right? You're trying to express what is it that the hardest change that you have to bring into the world.
Is just, I think personally, from experience, it's the part that you have to just accept that the world is what it is, right? And just be happy with that. And don't expect any more or any less, especially because most of us people are on a material plane and they're sitting there and they're going to a 9-to-5 job where they hate their lives, and they feel that they're stuck in this proposition, and I think that it ties into a lot more than just your work, it ties into your religion, it ties into this big belief system that she has amazing ideas about. And she's going to kind of pick our brains, and we're going to see where this conversation goes.
So the thing is, you already know, right?
Yeah.
You two of you here, right? You already know that you incarnated, or you were born to make change, to change something, right?
Well, yeah, everybody changes something in their life. It just how I guess, like, how do you put this? Like the scale of it, Is the change from the person so small that no one notices, the rustling of a leaf, whatever? Or is it, I don't know, as big as President Kennedy or someone like that? I don't know, you know what I mean?
I think that it's all a big lie. If I'm being honest and truthful from the heart, we're living in a world that has a lot of serious issues that everybody's just kind of overlooking, and they have got onto this just debauchery of nonsense, But they don't understand that it
Call
would
it
be
a
easier.
wheel of death.
Yeah.
Wheel of
People are
death.
just running towards death,
Right.
and they don't know when they're gonna drop dead.
Right.
But that wheel, it never stops. It's on every level.
And it's continuous forever. Through
Until
death
the
and through birth.
individual drops dead. They keep running towards something. But, we have to, it's all comes back to the past.
Right. Everything
To
is
the
tied
past.
to the past, right?
Yes.
It's
And
word.
so
Yeah.
it's very spiritual then. So your generation is very spiritual.
Some of
You're
us.
spiritually
Yeah,
attuned.
not everybody.
Some of you, yes.
We have the
Yeah.
potential to
Mostly-
be extremely spiritual
Almost nobody.
with the change that we can make.
There is more of you, let me say this, there is more of you in your generation than that was me in my generation. And so I think this is how I relate to you guys, is that it's the rebel generation. It's those that have to make changes.
Right. The hardest part is being that individual to stand up and say that we need change, right?
Yes.
But it's
to
hard.
do that, you gotta start from yourself, because that's the most powerful.
Right. Well, you have to understand the tool that you're going to use to change, and that's you.
Yes, and then if you start with yourself, and do that within yourself. And then every time you go through anything, no matter what it is, what you can do is step above any strictly emotion and go deeper than that to understand that there is a reason behind that, because you are at that moment need to make a different choice than what that old emotion that's stuck in you from whatever how long does not ride you into the same loop.
No, you choose to be in that same loop.
Yes.
You know?
You choose at every point.
You cut off how much opportunity there is.
Yeah, you cut yourself off instead of opening yourself up.
Just because you're too prideful to.
I don't even think it's that. I think like societal pressure,
I think that too.
like, closes people's minds, especially in the U.S. You know, everyone's so worried about money and getting a job.
Yeah, the money is.
But
I don't
they
know.
don't-
It's the bad, the baddest sort of evil.
They don't care about like. Yeah, it's evil. They don't care about anything else. You know.
But the problem
They
is
they can't get down to like core ideas and like values, things we share. You know.
It's narcissism all over the world.
You don't want to.
Yeah,
Yes, they
there's-
don't want
it's
to.
easier not to see those problems, you know. It's easier to just look past them and keep walking.
Right.
So they
But-
think.
But let me tell you this: most of those people, they're not aware.
Right.
They're not aware.
They're not exactly living in the now.
They are not. They don't touch on now. They never do. They just live either in the past or in the future. But see, in the now, if you own your reality, if you understand that you are in control, and everybody before you, what you can do is you learn from them. You learn from them in which way? Like I was telling you the other night. Look at Martin Luther King.
Right.
You dream. And you believe in your own dream
Yeah. And he did it.
when nobody else does.
That's the kind of people that rise, you know. And the money
And-
comes later, you know. It's not about making the
Because
paycheck.
it's not about money for you at all.
Right.
Because you had the money growing up.
Yeah. It's not about
You all
that.
had all the things they could buy for the money
Yeah.
here, especially the way you guys grew up, right?
Yeah, it's
You've
spoiled
been
on Christmas.
friends since what, 3rd or 4th grade? You know each other. It's like, no, you didn't live,
Through
in
serious
$1 million
struggles.
homes, but you guys had what money could buy. It just doesn't cut it for you, right?
No.
It's not enough for some reason because there isn't anything within that energetically, like for me,
So
energetically it's empty. It's not worth
It's very
them,
empty.
because what do you have to do to get that? If you have to chip out at your soul energy every time for the money, you're not doing
Breaking
anybody
yourself.
good.
Right.
You're not doing good for others by doing that, because that you're part of also a society, and your state of being affects everybody around you because we're all connected.
Exactly.
And so people have no awareness of that. And I understand, and you have all this awareness of this, that everything is connected. And now the one thing that I always notice about you guys is you wanna change, and it's frustrating.
Right.
And it's frustrating that it's not going fast enough.
Yeah, it's always what's the next best thing? How can I get to the next step? And then once that first step is accomplished, it's like I don't even want to acknowledge that it happened. I want to go to the next, more.
And so now you gotta look at it more spiritually.
Right.
You gotta look at things like there is people. You gotta look at you know, how do people achieve something, anything? And you guys are, it's all about change for you. So how do you achieve change? You go big
Or yeah,
and you try.
and you believe in
And
what
you
you're
believe
doing.
in yourself, because there's nobody else. You guys struggle. I know your struggles are, you know, this spiritual side of you, this spirituality of you that is so aware spiritually, and then there is this religion that goes against everything which you feel in your heart.
Exactly.
And those two are almost like at this pressure point. And I think you guys are both sort of feeling that. I'm just at part of my life where I broke out of it, what, I don't know, 20 years ago maybe.
Yeah.
So I went through my own change. But that, I took that and directed into my inner self.
Right, and that's where you align
So that
mind,
which
body,
you-
spirit.
What you want to change on the external, then you turn it inwards and you empower yourself from within.
Right.
And then you just expand.
And then nothing
Expand that.
can touch you.
Nothing can touch.
Nothing can touch you, make you angry, make you react just based on emotion, you know, because
Nothing.
you have that alignment with your mind, body, and spirit.
Yes.
But the reason people can't be consciously aware of society is because nobody's even aware of themselves, you know. They're just
Exactly.
it's like we're all puppets on a string, you know, and somebody's just continuing to play them. For most kids, it's parents trying to teach them, you know, a certain job or whatever, you know, how
Something they feel is right or wrong.
or to follow in their footsteps, which I think that that's a big point that you guys need to understand, is that children are brought through their parents, they don't come from them. So the energy that we have is individuals, it's up to them, you know. We have the freedom and the choice to do whatever we want, and there is nobody that can tell you no. The only person and the only problem that you can ever face is that of yourself, because it's the one that keeps you tied down to falsified things, you know. You have the freedom. Every single person out there has the ability to change. But the problem is people aren't willing
To take the steps to do it.
right.
Because it's
And
too,
to
you
start
already
with
said it. It's because
themselves.
it's too
To
hard.
start with
It's
yourself.
too hard.
Sometimes it's not fun finding yourself.
No.
It's
Sometimes it takes some shit.
We weren't put
takes,
here to
yes.
have an easy, cheesy ride, you know? Like your mom says, when there's challenges that are put forth in your path, just use them as tests. Because if you use them as tests, you're going to learn how to ace them eventually. And then that's when your life
Yeah.
becomes easy. That's when you begin to transcend that energy and you literally can create your own reality. If it's just it's all up to you.
So the other day we were talking about that it's like when you align with what you feel and what you think with your reality, does it align, and is it in tune with your spirit? And that's how, but at the same time then, when you are in alignment, you also take full responsibility for what you create, meaning you're in full control of how you feel, what you think. Nobody can own your thinking. Nobody can tell you what to think,
Right.
because you're in alignment with your whole being.
Right.
And you as a whole being can never be owned, material or invisible energy. It doesn't matter. Soul
One and the
or
same.
body
It's
can
still
never be.
you.
It's still
It's
you.
still I. You know,
Mhm.
you can never.
Yeah.
It can never be owned. So this is the thing that what you guys are struggling with, because you totally get that.
Right. But the
So
people
you
around
want your
us
freedom,
don't.
but the old system of thinking,
Yeah.
you know,
It's still there.
is still there. It's like 1,000-year old.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you have to let go in the new age. That are people are so excited about that it's all going to be so good, but it's like they can't let go of the old shit.
No, it's like for what reason do they carry it on a chain leash and drag it behind them for their whole lives? You know, when people get divorced, you know, or a dad or parent passes away, you know, there's a lot of emotional struggles that happen. But how much easier would it be if you could just accept the fact that that happened and understand that you are now in a different moment? So if, for instance, your father passes away, you know, you have to remember them for who they are, the beautiful person that you love them for, and understand that how he loved you is how he wants you to live. So you mourn him, you know, and then you just remember him and move on. And then it's over. There is no more pain. There's no controversy of thought. It's over. You've taken from him what he wanted to give it to you, and you move forward. And you can use that in all facets of life. And that's why me and Jimmy are the way that we are, is because we find comedy in the way that we live our lives. And for some reason, I don't know where it came from, but we were going through high school and stuff. Not normal people, you know. We just managed to say pretty much, fuck you guys, we're going to do what we want to do. And we just kept walking. And now we're in a completely different stage. So I'm blessed for that.
Maybe that's why we were able to transition.
We didn't buy in.
Because we didn't buy into that.
We didn't buy into this
So
program.
It allowed us to find ourselves faster. We didn't
Right.
take a journey or hardship or, you know, whatever it may be.
It was our spiritual journey the whole time that we were doing it.
Yeah.
While everybody else was focused on material plane items and stuff, you know. When am I going to get my driver's license? You know, that kind of stuff. It's just like, I don't know.
The thing about change, that it's very difficult to let go, and yet at the same time it's very simple to see when you're ready to see what you need to let go to be free, because you gotta free yourself from that old thinking.
But that's the problem.
Because this is the biggest thing, you guys, for you, is that religion is the last thing that people cling on to. Because once religion goes, what is there to cling on to or blame or anything?
Only yourself.
Only yourself. So that's the hardest thing that people will hang on to.
Well, no,
And
people
that-
still blame the world. Yeah, the people will blame the world or other people for their problems,
They do it
even though it's
consistently.
completely their fault.
Unfounded.
Or, you know, they, for whatever reason, it's happening to them. You know, that's what they claim.
And it's much easier if you blame yourself for it, because if you blame yourself, then you have to forgive. And once you forgive, it's over with. It's done.
So that's the letting go.
Right.
It's the letting go of that what no longer serves your spirit. Because as a spirit, you can never be enslaved. But with that comes great responsibility, self-responsibility.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have to learn now and change the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you act. Because you are in charge of that energy. You're directing it. Because it's up to you. So the reality, and this is what I think the biggest thing for you guys is, a big part of you understands the great responsibility of the reality that is dependent on you to direct it. And so you at the same time have to think about how to create solution and how at the same time help people to let go of old stuff. So you almost have like two different things you gotta do. Is create solutions because you know them, right? You know because you know it within yourself. When you go through, like you said, through a spiritual journey, when you just were allowed, at least by your parents, at least in this case here, to choose your own journey to a degree, right?
Yeah,
To a big degree.
But then how do we communicate that to the rest of us millennials? You know, the people that don't want to listen.
And that's the part that it's not just solutions for the past mistakes, like the parents,
It's got to be prevented.
Yeah.
In the future too. Wow. It's such a big problem. There's so many of people.
But you gotta help people by
maybe by videos like this.
By videos like that.
Exactly.
Tell people your story. Tell how you do it. How do you go through life having the responsibility, full responsibility for your own future? Because that's what you have. That's what you're admitting right here, right now. That you're on a spiritual path, meaning that this life is a spiritual path. Because you are a spirit in a physical reality, in this human body. But you are spirit. Spirit that's part of this whole universe. You're a universal soul. So that's how big you are. And then from there, you build your dreams from that point of how you move forward in your life. So you build from that.
Right, once you understand yourself.
That universe does not reject you. It's you who reject you.
Yeah, and then that's the energy you're giving off. It's the golden
and now
rule.
you have this energy that is messed up.
It's messed up.
It's messed up. It's a big freaking mess. I agree.
It's a plague.
Whatever.
Everyone.
It's a huge pile of doo-doo, like you like to say.
You know, it causes so much agony.
So much agony in the world.
So much.
And that's this, what I call it, this war parasite in people's minds.
Right. The reason why we create things like a nuclear weapon that could take out the whole planet. It's mind-blowing what we do.
Yeah,
as
and they're
people.
like idiots. Oh, I'm gonna push the button on this side and you both gonna be dead. It's like retarded, right?
No. And we keep escalating in a technological sense, you know, we're always trying to build better technology, things to make our lives easier. But the answer's right in front of us. It's just the acceptance of the universe and of the energy and of the realization that you can create anything and you can be whatever you want to be. You're not forced into any situation like a lot of people think they are, you know.
Yes, but when you do this transformation, because it's like a transformation, right? You go through a transformation to where you have a lot of recognitions of your life, and very quick, I assume, because
I mean, yeah, sometimes realization is fast, but
like
Sometimes it's very slow.
yeah, sometimes it's really slow, especially for some people, like almost non-existent.
It's amazing.
You wonder if they're making an effort at all.
You wonder
But
if they get joy out of it.
But yet you guys are here and you have your own realizations and it's happening and you understand that this reality is has a whole different meaning that you thought it did, and now it's like everything is changing and it's the age of the change. We kind of feeling it like it's here. I know it's here.
Yeah. You can feel it.
You can't avoid it. I mean, it's here. You can feel it in your bones.
Right. It's like why people use meditation as like a tool, because it shuts off the brain and it makes you completely emotional. It shuts your brain off, and then you feel the energies of the universe, and it's constantly flowing, and it's just how aware of the things you are. That's why, like you were saying, you spend time with trees.
Because trees calm your mind and do so many other things.
Right.
They're the natural grid, mental grid for the planet. The trees, very important.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the other thing you guys will have to figure it out, is how not to kill the trees anymore.
Yeah.
And grow hemp.
I think it's impossible if we keep with what we're doing. What already is happening, we're running out of oil, we're running out of...
The oil thing has to stop. You know
that. It's either forcefully going to be stopped in about 30 years, or we do it hopefully a little sooner before we absolutely screw the planet.
I know.
For those of you who believe in climate change and stuff, global warming.
So, but who's doing it?
We, as people.
Yep.
The plagues of the universe are just continuing.
Those that do it for paycheck, those that do it because they don't care and they don't realize that
Yeah, they're just blind.
It's got to be stopped.
But if they understood it, you'd think that they wouldn't continue to do it, right? So
I think it's that a lot of people have, like I said, this ideas of understanding something, but they never experience that. And I think this is what it is. Once you experience something, and that's why I always tell anybody, whoever asks me, how do I go on this path of, this transformation? So I always say, go spend time with the trees, right? So I always tell you
or
that.
go to the beach
and be with nature, because that's the natural world.
Right. There's profound energy that nobody can explain or testify for. It's just there, and I feel it.
There.
You don't know if I actually feel it, but I tell you, I'm being honest, I feel it.
And that's when you start feeling more spiritual, with nature. You feel more part of it.
Yeah.
And that's that universal field, the living field of all the whole invisible field that supports this reality is here. It's not somewhere out there. So like God is not somewhere out there. It's here within each and every one of us.
And that's why I think that everybody needs to stop trying to get the answers from outside and start trying to grasp them from within, because they're all there. There is no wrong. You can't say a wrong answer. There's no such thing as a wrong answer, unless you're doing science with Jimbo over here.
There's a wrong answer.
There is a wrong answer.
It depends what you're talking about.
Right.
Okay.
Spiritually.
But I think the other thing that's difficult for you guys is to voice this, right?
Yeah. But I don't know why. A couple years ago, I would have been like, this is crazy. I'm not gonna try and preach the word of anything, because I just felt like the societal pressure that we mentioned earlier. It's so present in every single one of our lives that we feel shut off, like we can't talk or speak or do it. But we do it a couple times, it gets easier every there.
So then, because that was my problem, like my own thinking had a whole different way of thinking than most people apparently think. I don't like learn information. It's different for me. And so then to voice this to people that think differently,
You sound crazy.
you sound crazy. Yes.
Right.
But then again, it goes back to what I just said. It's about experience. If you didn't experience that living energy, if you didn't come to realization of who you are, that you are a universal being, because you cannot exist within a universe
Right.
and not be part of it.
Right. You're a part of it whether you want to be or not, you know.
Exactly,
We can
yeah.
just make it a lot easier than what it is
And
right
so
now.
you're the God, you're the judge, you're the all of it
Right.
for your own soul, nobody else.
Yeah.
That's a huge self-responsibility.
It is. With great power comes great responsibility, you know.
You know, and you would think, I am to this day amazed. You think you have problems?
No.
But like people,
No. I've seen problems.
You are in Mexico, folks.
I've seen people
Yeah,
being
I've seen it.
so blinded by religion that it's unbelievable. They go do shit that is so bad, and
Right.
then they think
They can
that
go-
by going and giving money for something, that somehow it makes sense to them.
Right.
But how do you sleep with yourself
I
at
don't know.
night?
I don't know.
That's always been my like, this is the people that I don't understand. Like
Right.
those that just follow that dead thinking process.
Yeah.
Because it's like a dead thinking process. It's just a whole bunch of information running through their, like, I don't know, this dead
It's like the catacombs. You
Yeah.
know?
thing.
Like there's so many different paths and people just they get lost almost.
Right. But it's the same playing
But
field.
it's the same thing. It's the same place.
Yeah.
But yet, you know, they can never find their direction. They just keep going and
Bouncing off walls, bouncing
Going
off walls.
around.
That's what life is. It's just you try and you
It's
try
a wheel
again.
of death, right?
Kinda.
Kind of. I mean, you just run around until you die.
Basically. And some of us, it's a terrible.
We don't want to
terrible
do
time.
that.
Yeah, we gotta. I want to do a lot of things. I want to travel this world, you know, live in Europe.
We
all that kind
wanted
of
to
stuff.
have a spiritual growth, which is you guys talk about, is that so things click. So you experience
that's why we want to
and you grow spiritually, and you grow from your own experiencing life.
Right.
That's spiritual growth. When you go and you go around the world, and that's a spiritual journey for you. And no matter what you do, or you're, you know, going to work, working 5 jobs to pay off your mortgage and pay off your 2 cars because you want to look good to the neighbors, you know. If you're doing that, that is still your choice to have that spiritual experience,
Right.
which is a slave. Because you're a slave to your job, you're a slave to your mortgage, you're a slave to your
You're slave to
payment,
everything.
you're a slave to everything.
Set yourself
But
free.
that you
know?
you choose that, and this
do.
is how do you explain to people that you choose your own slavery.
Yeah.
There's many different tastes of slavery that people choose, you know, and they rather be slave to that illusionary thing
Yeah.
than to be true to themselves. Because see, the morals is what, when people lose their own morals, and this is what they keep telling you and they keep teaching you in school. We laugh sometimes, right, Jimmy? How school is like prison.
Yeah. It's like a shepherd, dude. And the sheep.
All the sheep just herd them all day long.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're like preparing you for being completely subservient to authority. And there you are sitting and going, no, not doing this, right?
Yeah. But they all.
But then they keep trying to cut you down, you know?
Well, yeah, they count on people to actually listen.
Yeah.
Like school and government. You count on people to listen to what they're saying.
Yeah.
Right.
Because without it, it's gonna.
Why do we is my question. Why do we listen to all those things? Why do we listen to our government? Because they have so much power.
Because they have so much power, but
Well,
who
just-
gives them power?
It's the people.
It's
The
So
people.
they have to stupidify people.
Yeah, exactly. That's
As
like
people can't grasp that the government's only purpose or reason for existing is through the
'Cause
people.
It's
itself.
a parasite. It's a leech on the people, and people don't
it's
even know
crazy.
it.
I never thought about it like that.
Well, they just don't
But, well,
understand.
there's-
No. It's not that it's a leech. It's that they don't understand that if that's the case, they need to change that government
Right.
or whatever.
But
you
we
know?
just go along with it.
If you're willing
We don't even
to,
care.
if you're willing to give power to the government,
Mhm.
like you said, everyone has the ability to do whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But you divest some of your power and invest it in the government.
Yeah.
That way you can use, I don't know, roads and all this crap.
Yeah. Right. So
You know, and you can
But
reap
yeah,
some
that's-
benefits of
of
it.
it. You just ride the train. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's what's there.
The problem comes when people are being abused, but they don't care, or you know,
Yeah.
they don't have the capacity to realize that.
Yes, I mean recently, see, like with presidential election, people couldn't like comprehend that big, the change in a different direction. It scares the shit out of people.
It does. It does.
So,
Don't even know. Do you know what percentage of our population in the United States actually voted?
I believe it was less than 50%.
Yeah, it's
so
If
that's like that. That doesn't
I'm pretty
even,
sure.
even count, but I don't know. But whatever it is, it's like it's not so much for you guys to concentrate on that change, because that is changing from a whole different direction. What you understand is that the biggest change comes from your will, from your own
right.
will. And that's what you stand in. And when you understand, then like I was saying, that you are no slave to anything.
Right.
And that comes from within. With that comes responsibility also, that you have to exercise your will at every point.
Mhm.
Because you have the responsibility for your reality. And so when you do that, then you're empowered in your own reality, at least. Grab a hold of that you are so strong in it. And that's what you can do right now. While
Yeah.
you're waiting for
I
other
do.
things to deconstruct, because there's a lot of things that are going to start falling apart.
It's
And a
coming.
lot of people are going to be panicking, but it is a great opportunity to look at what can you do with that understanding that you create this reality. You can change
You get
anything.
right.
And so
You
it's
change
time for you to dream big.
Yeah. I'm working on it.
And just whatever you do, and you know that you're responsible for whatever you know, whatever you hold, the intelligence you hold, it's universal intelligence. And you know that because you know you're a universal being. It's universal intelligence. It's all that it is.
I know. And it's in all of us.
And it's in all of you. And then to the degree that you're going to express that through your own self, through your own being, through your own soul, when you express that universal being, this is when you are your original thinker. You are original thinker.
Yeah. capable of anything.
And you are original thinker, and you know what's
Original
the best for you. Original thinker, you only create your own thoughts.
I think you said it best, you know. What did you just say? She said...
Original thinking.
Original thinker. I don't know, it'll come back to me. But once you understand that, it's just... I think that's where you
Once you
have to
understand that, then you can't stand in this, oh, that gotta change or that gotta change for me to change here. You make a change in a whole different way.
Yeah.
It's not what people expect. Change of the past.
People don't
was
like
just,
change, though. Some people
hate
don't
it.
like change. Some people are open to it, but
But see what that they didn't want to change for a long time already. Those people, and now things are different because there's more to it. You know, there's more. That's the planetary living field that's changing too. And so now you go into that to where everything is gonna go faster for you and for other people. So the change is gonna roll in a lot more faster than it did before. That's one difference. The second one is that people don't have any other choice, but they will eventually see that some stuff has to go from society. People will have to have realization at some point.
it's
I know
just
you
how
guys
long.
don't have
How
a
long?
lot of patience
Yeah,
for
I
it,
know.
but you know, I am older,
But-
and I am telling you, when I was growing up, there was no smell of change
At all.
at all. There was not one atom of it. But you know what?
Some people had it, like you.
I did.
Right. And where did you get it from? If you don't mind me asking.
I knew that I was a universal being from a very young age.
Right. Brought it from yourself.
Yes. So that, I don't know if that's a gift or if that's a punishment. I don't know.
It's a gift.
But yeah, you know, for some people they might think it's not good. But it's given me a very difficult life because so you talk a lot about, you know, having a difficult time with, you know, with your parents and with family and even friends,
Right.
right? And even some of your friends, they don't understand. So what you do is you just, for me, it was for a long time. It took me 20 years, and you're only 20.
Right.
20 years to work on some things, to let it go.
It is a good base to have. Yeah.
So you just always work on yourself.
Always.
But for you, it's gonna go faster. I think it's gonna get easier, and because so many people. But there's a lot of mess and a lot of things that's gonna fall apart in our society. They have to. It just can no longer
Can't
hold
keep
up
going.
like that. How long can you go? You know, that fake. You know, you can't live your life completely that being in that state of just following what everybody else is saying or what everybody else is doing. At some point, you're gonna say, "I had enough of
You gotta
this."
stand up. You gotta.
At some point, people have to say, "We had enough."
You gotta have enough respect for you. You know.
Yes, but that is all have to be built from within.
Yeah. Hands down. And it doesn't happen overnight. It's not an overnight transformation. It takes time. Especially to understand yourself, because you're complicated. Way more
Yeah.
complicated than you think.
But then your realizations are also a lot faster in your, you know, in younger kids. You know more why you're here. You can fall into yourself a lot more faster.
Yeah.
Than others.
Yeah.
It avoids some of the controversy that we would have faced You know,
Yes.
especially going, almost legally allowed to drink in the United States, all that kind of stuff. It's not going to be a problem, because we are responsible for ourselves, and most people don't even understand that. So that they go to college and they go try and get their degree and stuff, but literally the whole first year of their experience for a lot of them is just time spent drinking and doing all that kind of stupid stuff, and you could be becoming aware of yourself and building your creation, whatever you want, your dreams, and building them. But people like to waste time.
Yeah, but
Some
that's
people wasted their whole lives.
Yeah, some people never wake up.
Yes. But you guys keep expressing yourself.
Wow,
Keep
yeah.
expressing because
Type of existence.
it's just you're just being yourselves. You're going through this transformation. I'm going through this transformation. A whole lot of people, I think, will go through the transformation too. The planet is going through the transformation. It's always change. Change is the only thing that's constant, even if you look at it from that point of view.
Right.
And then, but also at the same time, you are a universal being. So if you contemplate something, it's possible.
Yeah, anything's possible.
We just
Because
think big enough.
and yes, there's a lot of problems. We were just talking about,
Think big enough.
that oil and all of that stuff needs to go, and there's a lot of fixing that needs to happen. And we need to help the planet.
Why is it that people can't think big enough?
I don't know.
And that's, I think, why I'm gonna tell you guys.
don't
That's
know.
my advice. That's my advice. Think big. And put your solution out there. And for kids like that, put your solution out there to the other similar kids. Because all of that, I'm just gonna find a solution and then find a money, first make a money deal. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna fix the world, because money is not gonna fix the world.
Can't fix my problems.
Yeah.
I know I can't fix yours.
So it's when people realize that and start bringing express what it is that you think might help. Not just might help, but you guys are all original thinkers.
Right.
And now you understand that there is a problem. Now we need to figure out the solution.
We must fix it.
We must fix it.
And
it's-
hopefully we can.
We will.
You will.
But we'll let you know when that comes. Got a couple ideas.
And let you know. All right, I think we've been talking for a while now.
It's been a decent amount of time. So you have it. You know our problems with society. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, like her page, follow her. She has some incredible videos out there. We appreciate your time. Thank you for listening and tuning in.
Thank you. Thank you guys for talking to me. This was fun. I
This is good.
absolutely enjoyed it.
I needed
Thank
it.
you.
The world needs it.
The world needs you, guys,
Something.
to be you and dream big. Dream big, dream solutions. You are originals.
We're original thinkers. Get the alignment. Mind, body, and soul. It'll be much better off, but yeah, I guess.
Thank you
guess
for
that's it.
watching.
Signing off.
Adios.
Adios, amigos.